Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel, a new series called The Psychology of the Nakshatras. Each nakshatra has a deeper buried psychology, and in this entire playlist, I shall examine nakshatra by nakshatra, zodiac by zodiac, what is the psychology behind nakshatras. What is the mental propensity of each nakshatra? That is the main theme which we are driving at. And through the relationships and the career playlist, through the Rahu Ketu series, all the other playlists, if you have watched, and you come to this deeper level of understanding of the nakshatras from the Vedic astrology point of view, now we get into the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts of nakshatras. Okay. So there are 12 zodiacs, 9 planets and points, 27 nakshatras in the legacy of Vedic astrology. Yes, this is a rich legacy of humanity, the way we are produced on this planet, literally like human beings, how we are born into this system called the zodiac signs, called the nakshatras, called the 9 planets and points. We are considering Rahu and Ketu as well. First one, the temperament, which is Dev, Manusha and Rakshasa Gana. Varna means a propensity. Just think of it as a propensity. Varna has been demonized a lot in Indian culture, and still there's lots of debates of going on and on about who is a Brahmana, who is a Kshatriya, blah, 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 blah. I'm strictly coming from Vedic astrology perspective only, without any discrimination, without any bias. Make that clear. Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, Mlecha, servant, and butcher class. These are classes of nakshatras, by the way. The type, they can be active, they can be passive, they can be balanced. That's a type of nakshatra. We shall see this nakshatra by nakshatra because it's a rich assortment. It's a permutation and combination of this through the 27 nakshatras. Okay. The drive can be srishti, which means they are creators, sthiti, which means they are preservers, and samhara, which means they are rejuvenators. That means dissolution and creation of something new, rebuilding something new from the foundation. That's what samhara means. The drive, that's the drive of the nakshatra. If it's a srishti, for example, it wants to create. If it's the sthiti, it wants to preserve that aspect. If it's a samhara, it wants to clear the old stuff and bring in something new. It's like the Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva aspects, you can say. The Lord of each zodiac, because we are still playing in the belt of the zodiac, right up till Saturn. So the planets themselves have a Kshatriya, which is Mars and Sun are Kshatriya planets. Jupiter and Venus are Brahmana planets. Mercury and Moon are Vaishya planets. Saturn is a Shudra planet. And Rahu and Ketu are Mlecha planets, or the outcast, or the unorthodox ones. We shall see this. Every nakshatra we have to go because each one is a different mix of all of this. For example, a person can be Rakshasa Gana and have a Brahmana also. We shall see this. It's very interesting how it plays out. Just as a side note there, right? In the ancient days, in the Vedic tradition, perhaps when this was followed, and this is strictly my conjecture, the system, as you see here, the Kshatriya or the king stood on top of the chain of governing, the monarchy, which happened in the Vedic tradition way back when, right? When this was being followed as a system. The Kshatriya was one who was appointed probably based on the Sun and Mars positioning in the Kshatriya Varna Nakshatras, right? And in probably Rakshasa Gana Nakshatras as well, or Manusha Gana Nakshatras. And they might have been active, and they might have been sthiti, preservers. Because what is the job of a king? The job of a king is to preserve the kingdom, is to take care of the people, is to take care of all its subjects. The kingdom, the crops are growing, the agriculture is prospering, the farmers are farming, the merchants are trading, the people are consuming, the whole kingdom is running properly. That was the duty of the king. But they have to have a sort of a power and politics element to it. In modern day context, earlier it was called monarchy, earlier it was called the king or the emperor. In modern day politics, it might be called someone who is after power, politics, and leadership. These are leadership planets, Mars and Sun, ruling the horoscope. I don't think it was a matter of inheritance so much as it was a matter of planetary position in their birth chart. Now, the Brahmana, on the other hand, the Brahmin, in the functional mode, would have a dominance of Jupiter and Venus in their charts, probably in Devgana, probably, this is all my conjecture, probably in Devgana, probably in Brahmana Nakshatras, probably active, and probably Srishti, creators. They are creators of new kind of wisdom. They are constantly in between the common person, who is the Vaishya, Shudra, Mlecha, and servant and butcher class. Nothing mean or demeaning about this. We all have this. We shall see this. So Vaishya and Shudra class, which is the common man class, so to speak, right? All the socialist movements, the Marxist movements that happen in the world, the erstwhile USSR, the current day China, probably even North Korea, you might say, they were all the Vaishya and the Shudra class rebelling against the ruling class. We have had many class different systems and democracy has evolved. Fine. But it's not so much about what kind of systems evolve, but it's a matter from a Vedic astrology perspective, how things can really work. It's important to know that. We can't make something like a wishful thinking and hope it will sustain. We are talking about long-term sustainability of governance here. So the Brahmin used to be a common man who the king used to take advices from, right? The king used to take the advice from the Brahmana as part of the king's court. All advices of how to run the kingdom finally were left to the Brahmin, and the king had to take that advice because he does not have the power of Jupiter and Venus in his chart. He doesn't know what is higher reasoning. He had to take it from the Brahmin, from the Brahmana, because he had the strength of Jupiter and Venus in his chart and the strength of the Nakshatras. This is where I'm coming from. And then the Brahmana also used to interact with the common man because he lives among the common men. He does not live in the king's court. He lives among the common people. So all the common people, including the Vaishyas, the Shudras, the servant class, the butcher class, all of those class used to talk to the Brahmana freely and openly. This is our problem. This is what we find is not happening. The king is taking higher taxes, or crops are not growing these days. We need to do such and such thing. We need to do more sacrifices so that we invite more rains. Those days they used to be able to talk to the planetary elemental structures like the air, wind, water, fire. They could make rain come. So the Brahmana is responsible for bringing all of that about simply because he had the power of these two planets. The Vaishya, on the other hand, the merchant class, whom we have conveniently handed over the entire civilization to, the corporations of the world, the big bucks of the world, the Facebooks of the world, the Twitters of the world, the Googles of the world, the Vaishya class has Moon and Mercury because Moon and Mercury are Vaishya class. They are interested in business. They are interested in return on investment. They are return on financial bank statements. What is your financial statement? Are you financially viable? Blah, blah, blah. All the modern financial stuff that goes on. The problem I find we are having with the civilization today is because we have handed over the world to the Vaishya class of people, whereas we should be giving it back to the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas, right? And the Kshatriyas should be listening to the Brahmanas, not the Vaishyas. Now what's happening? The Kshatriyas listening to the Vaishya class. Just my conjecture, okay? Take it for what it's worth and just think about it. Shudra, the ones who are the worker class, the beautiful workers, the bricklayers, the smelters, the engineers, the doctors, the lawyers, the people, all of us who are working on an everyday basis, we are all part of a Shudra class. Shudra class does not mean necessarily the guy who's sweeping the streets, not in the modern day context anymore. Even a software engineer can have a Shudra Nakshatra, for example, and we shall see this later on. Nakshatra by nakshatra, like I said, we can't take this on a hari-bari basis because it has to be a mix and match of so many elements. All of these mix and matches you will find in 27 nakshatra. So in this playlist, I shall go nakshatra by nakshatra, okay? Pay close attention to this. This is the deepest level of psychology which I find is practical in the world today. We are not using it, we should be. We should be structuring our governance, our institutions, our educational systems, everything according to this. then it will work. And it's nothing to do with inheritance. It's nothing to do with father and son. It's nothing to do with nepotism. Okay. It is to do with the nakshatra, what the child is born under. For example, a Shudra might have a Brahmin kind of a child. Then what will you do? The way it is put in the caste system right now in India. For example, a billionaire son might have Shudra class. So he might be just a good worker, but he's definitely not a good leader. Just because he has inherited billions, and if you promote him to CEO, guess what he will do? He will squander the whole thing. He has no connection to it. Nakshatras provide the connection to a particular task. It provides an emotional connection. It provides a heart connection. It's not the question of your brain or your Harvard degrees, my friends. It's a question of what you want to do, finally, what you want to give to the world. This is why we have this great dichotomy in the modern cultural civilization that we have of people with big money doing the bad things, people with lots of education being arrogant pricks, all kinds of combinations we have. And we are sitting there scratching our heads thinking, what in the world is going wrong in this world? It's become a big circus. Why are the educated, so-called educated PhD fellows not doing anything good? Or why are the billionaires doing with all that money? We think of billions and trillions of dollars, right? Probably this will explain to you more. This entire playlist, more than all the others in this channel, will explain you this deepest psychology aspects of nakshatras. So take care, be safe, subscribe, and I shall continue this entire playlist through all the 27. Okay? Probably we might do after the 27 nakshatras some case studies also, just to be on the practical side of things. Just the similar way I'm doing for relationship series and the career and playlist, which is ongoing, right? So take care, my friends. Be safe. Thank you for all your likes and subscribes.